Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Slow, slow, slow. Oh, wait. Gravy, gravy. Great. Uncle Gravy, you good? You good? You got it. I make music, by the way. I make music. I dropped the 110 songs last year. I dropped the 110 songs. Link in description if you want to check that out. Link in description if you want to check that out. Greatly appreciate it. If you want a recommendation, check out the Revenge Pack. The Revenge Pack. So you just search Jesse Mache, the Revenge Pack on whatever streaming platform you use. So JESSENASHE space the Revenge Pack. JESSENASHE. That's one word. JESSENASHE. That's one word. Space the Revenge Pack. You can search that on whatever streaming platform you use. I would appreciate you if you check that out. I'm getting McDonald's today from my streaming revenue. I got a little streaming revenue from my Spotify, my Apple Music, and so on and so forth. Because I'm like, I'll get McDonald's with the little bit of dollars that I got from that. So whenever you listen to my music, you're putting money in my pocket. Look at you. You're paying me with your ears, your little ears. When your ears listen to me, I get money. I get money in here. Money goes in there. Yeah, so go check that out. I was listening to this. Not listening. I was out on X, and I was reading this discussion people were having about royalties in art. And there's this comic book artist. Goes by Yellow Flash on Twitter. He goes by Yellow Flash on Twitter. And he was getting in trouble because he writes the story for his comic and he pays this other artist to draw it for him. Pays this other artist to draw it for him. So they worked out a deal where instead of paying him in advance and then whatever fee comes after that, no, you just get an advance. You don't get a fee after that. I don't think that's how it works. You get an advance, and then yeah. Let me think. So if I'm writing a book and I get it published by a publisher will give me an advance. Let's say it's a small deal of like 100,000, and then maybe I might get something else depending on if the book sells well. That's a bad deal because you'd hope that you get royalties as well. But in that case, I'm the writer, so hold on. In that case, I'm the writer, so I should get royalties unless I sign a very, very shitty deal and I don't get any royalties and they just give me an advance. But anyway, what this yellow flash guy was getting in trouble for was the deal he worked out with the artist that draws these comic books is you give him 40% of whatever royalties come from the book, but then you won't give him an advance, which people were angry at. But think about it, 40% of someone's book, if the book does well, and you know the homie has a very good social media following, he's a decent social media following, so if he can capitalize on that and market his book well and the book sells well, and you own 40% of the book, you're gonna get bang. You're gonna get way more than you'd have earned through any sort of advance. Because you're an artist and you're being commissioned, so you're not an owner of the book. In my case, it's a novelist, right? That's my book, so it's my book, so I should get royalties, but it depends on the deal I sign. If I'm desperate and I need money and the publisher comes to me and they're like, we'll give you an advance, but then we owe 100% of the book, and you just get this set amount of money and then that's it. We won't give you anything else after that. I think there are deals like that. There are not great deals, but sometimes people are desperate for cash and they sign the deals. And it's business. It is what it is, man. But people are angry at this yellow flash guy for giving the homie 40% but not giving him an advance on top of that, which to me is like insane, because 40% of my book, so let's say I make a comic book and I hire an artist to draw the characters for me. I'm like, look, I'll give you this set amount of money to draw all these characters and do this and that for me. Then he's like, that's cool and all, but I think it'd be better if you just gave me part ownership of the book. So now that's his offer to me. And I have to consider, do I want to give him ownership of the book? It's my book. Do I want to give him ownership of the book, or would I rather just pay someone else because I don't want to give away ownership? That's up to me to decide. So then I'm like, you know what? Let me give him ownership of the book. I think this is a good deal. It's just for this book. If it makes money, I still keep 60%. That's more than enough money for myself. And we'll both be happy. Okay, cool, dude. I give you 40%. But I'm not going to give you an advance or anything like that. He's like, okay, cool. So on his side, he's taking the risk. He's taking a gamble. Because if he takes the 40% and the book doesn't sell well, he's not going to get much money. And on top of that, he hasn't gotten an advance. So it is a gamble. But if the book does sell well and you're getting 40% of all that revenue, oh my God. You'll be swimming in dough. So, you might not be swimming in dough, but because the comic books these days, yeah, some of them are selling well, like the ISOM comic book and that Rippaverse comic book company. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that you can get a lot of cash that way, but it's a gamble, it's a risk. But I don't think I should still give you an advance if I give you 40% of my book, ownership of my book. Let's be realistic, guys. And also think about the risk that both parties have to incur. So, on his side, he just has to make the art. He has to draw. That's him. That's his time and his effort. That's what he's contributing. I, as the owner, I'm in charge of investing all the capital, so I'm paying for all sorts of things, distribution. Maybe you have to pay stores to hold your book. Like if you want your book to be in certain stores, you have to pay for that. Maybe marketing, so on and so forth, and everything else that comes with being an entrepreneur, being an owner of something. I'm incurring all that risk, so I'm writing as well and all that sort of stuff. So that's on me. You just have to draw. And you're taking the gamble that by refusing an advance and instead taking 40% ownership, you're going to earn more money that way. That's your risk that you're willing to take. I have to incur every other risk. Like you know, the financial risks that come with like running your own business. With comic books, they stuff like lettering, and someone has to do the lettering. I'm not sure if that artist does the coloring as well, because I know that not every artist draws and colors. Sometimes those are two separate jobs. A lot of the time, those are two separate jobs. So depending on that, he might be paying a colorist to color any stuff. All sorts of things, man. The type of pages you have to use in your comic book, you have to pay for that as well. There's so many things that if it was my comic book, I would have to be thinking about that he doesn't have to worry about at all. He just has to draw. But there are a lot of like financially illiterate people that are like accusing like Yellow Flash, the owner of this comic book, for like malpractice, for being mean, for being greedy, for being this, for being that. I don't think it's greedy when you give someone 40% of your book, dude. And you know, as a businessman, you're assuming your book is gonna do well. Like that's what you're gearing towards, right? You don't want your book to be a failure. So you're banking on your book doing well. That's what you're gearing towards, that's what you're marketing towards. This idea that you're going to make a lot of money. So it's actually insane to call someone that's giving away 40% of their property greedy. These people don't know anything. But that's the frustrating part about, like, you know, the public constantly chiming in on things that, you know, they might not know anything about. And you have to kind of deal with that as a creative. Like, if I make music, right? I do make music, but like, you see, I make everything myself. So I handle the production, I make my own beats, I write my own lyrics, I record myself, I mix, I master. I do everything myself, and then I pay a distributor. So my distributor is DistroKid. I pay them an annual fee. So at the end of every year, I pay them music, and then they put my music on all these streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, so on and so forth. That's the deal I have with them. So with me, I just mentioned like 5 or 6 different things, right, that I could be paying other people to be doing. So with production, for example, I could pay someone to make beats for me. Every time I want a beat, I can buy a beat online. I can have a producer that I pay, and he makes me beats. And you know, deals within that realm will look different. So you could have an agreement with one producer where you're like, I pay you a flat rate, a set rate, or like a salary or something, and then you just produce beats for me, and that's our deal. The amount is irrelevant. You just make Well, there's a minimum amount you have to make, but I don't pay you for the amount. I pay you this set amount and then of money, and then you make beats for me. That could be the arrangement. It's up to the individuals within that deal. Or it could be, I pay you for each beat. For example, with DistroKid, when they distribute my music, their arrangement is you pay us this annual fee, and then you can upload as much music as you want onto these streaming platforms, and you just pay us this annual fee. There are other distributors who say you pay us for each song that you upload, which is expense, and they charge a lot of money too, which is why I went with DistroKid instead. So it's up to you, but then you get other benefits. Like I think it's TuneCore that used to do that. Maybe they still do it. They still have that business model, but they have other benefits that you can consider, like more thorough analytics, for example, and maybe other little benefits. But for me, I'm like DistroKid. They give me everything I need, so I'll just go with DistroKid. It's cheaper, far cheaper. I get 100% of my royalties, and I just pay them an annual fee. It's a no-brainer. But that's the deal that works for me. Someone else might want different things, so they might go to a TuneCore, even though they have to pay for each song. I uploaded 310 songs last year. Imagine if I had to pay for every single song to upload it. Oh, yeah. The money would be insane that I have to spend to do that. It doesn't work. So DistroKid, it's a godsend. But that's an example of like how this sort of stuff works in terms of these deals. But I could pay a producer to make beats for me. I could pay someone to write my lyrics, for example, but I write my own lyrics. I could pay someone to record me. There are people that do that. There are people whose whole job it is just to record an artist. They sit there. Well, it might not be their whole job. That's typically the engineer's job, and the engineer will record an artist and then also mix and master. Although the mixing and mastering could be two separate people that do that. But generally the engineer will record and then mix and then maybe master. It depends. Sometimes people like to get different people to do different things with regards to mixing and mastering. But anyway, mixing and mastering as well, those are two separate jobs that someone can do. I could pay people for, but I do it all myself, and I keep all the royalties as a result. And I don't have to pay anyone. But I could say, if someone mixes my song for me, because they mixed it, they could say, I want 10% of any royalties you get from the song. Or they could just say, just pay me a set fee. Pay me once, and then I'll do the job. It's up to them. We debate. Well, it's not up to them. It's up to me. But we can negotiate. We can negotiate. Someone might say, I want 10%. I don't want money up front. I want ownership. They could say, I want ownership and a fee. And then it's up to me to decide if it's worth it. Because if you want ownership and a fee, it's kind of crazy. It depends on the amount of ownership you want. If you're asking for like 50% of the song's revenue, let's assume that my songs were doing really well. You're not getting a set fee on top of that. You're not getting money on top of that ownership as well. Like, are you ridiculous? Are you sick in the head? Same thing if anyone produces a beat for me. Like, let's say if someone makes a beat for me. Like, someone makes the beat, and then they can either say, you can buy the beat from me. You just purchase it once off, and then that's that. Our business is done. You never have to hear from me again. Or they can say, because people are going to be hearing this all the time, and it's going to continue to make you money, I want ownership. I want 40% of the song's revenue. Again, it depends on leverage and who you are and if it's worth it. I have to think about that and say, okay, I'll give you 40%. If I was working with some well-known producer and I know that having his name attached to mine is going to get me a lot of cash, maybe it is worth it to give him 40%. But if you're just some regular person no one knows, I mean, it's up to me, but I don't think I'll do that. Besides, I make my own beats. I don't need to do that. But if, hypothetically speaking, I do get loops sometimes from this website called Splice, and my arrangement with them is I pay them a monthly fee, and then I have access to this extensive library of instrumental loops that they have, or just one shots. A one shot is like a snare hit, for example, like a snare, or a kick, do, and then I can arrange my own patterns with that stuff. Or I can get like a live guitar loop, because you want that authentic live guitar. You don't want some electronic guitar that you might get in a plugin. So you want like a live guitar or a live violin or like a saxophone. These are things you just can't replicate using software. It won't sound natural. So you might have to get like a loop, or you can buy the instruments yourself and learn how to play them. But obviously that's it's not feasible. The amount of money and time you'd need to do that just doesn't make sense. Unless you're like a virtuoso. But yeah, I have an arrangement with them. I pay them a monthly fee if I want to. Right now I'm not using them because I'm not making music right now. But when I was making music, I would use them from time to time. But they don't own any royalties in my music. I pay them a monthly fee, and then they give me the whatever samples I take from them, and then I own the samples now. Those samples are mine. I can use them however I want, and I don't have to pay them a single dime after that. Like, they don't own any part of my song at all. And that's the arrangement we've agreed on. That's the arrangement they agree on with all their customers. They set those terms on their site, and they tell you when you're about to subscribe. That's how they do business. So it's all about negotiation. It's all about you as an owner setting your own terms for business and people opting in or opting out. It's that sort of stuff. So people are angry at Yellow Flash for giving the homie 40% but not giving him an advance. It's like, what are people talking about? Give him 40%. That's insane. 40%. If the book does well, he's gonna get a huge payday. So I think he made the right choice. I think the book is gonna do well. And yeah, if the book doesn't do well, then oh well, it's business. It's business, guys. You take risks. You win some, you lose some. The homie, I think the artist was posting on Twitter about how he's struggling financially. So I think that's part of the reason why people are upset, because they're, oh, he's struggling financially and you haven't paid him. But it's like, that has nothing to do with me as an owner. That has nothing to do with me. Now the artist did say that the Yellow Flash guy did reach out in private to help him out with some of his troubles, financial troubles. But that's no one's business. He doesn't have to do that either. He's not obligated to do that. Like, people are just, they have this communist mentality where they feel entitled to your money. Where they think you can just give people money without them earning it. It's insane. It's not how the world works, people. I don't have to part with my money for any reason other than, like, I either made a deal or I want to give it to you. Just because you want my money doesn't mean I have to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Or you want me to give my money to someone else. That's not how this works. It's very communist. It's giving communist. It's giving Stalin. It's giving Lenin. It's giving Mao. Calm down. Anyway. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. You know that. Just a pop blessing and peace. So dear God, thank you for making this individual whole and unique and guiding them on a path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. thank you for blessing this person with incredible people that love them and take care of them and bring the best out of them, and that you're maintaining the ones that are there as well, so that they can also love this person. And thank you for blessing this individual the spirit of gratitude, so they can give thanks for all the wonderful things in their life and have so much to look forward to, because they're aware of all the good things they have, and that through giving thanks they can attract even more blessings and acquire peace and contentment. And yeah, let this person know that you're there for them, let your presence be felt, and guide them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this individual and everyone they love. You might name it, pain, she's never